The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Cary Dieter.
Welcome to another episode of Military Hour. We have some very special guests with us here today that are with Reboot Combat Recovery. Welcome Joe Rogers and his lovely wife Jill Rogers. I want to say right up front, thankfully Jill is a cancer survivor. I was glad to hear that news from you this morning. And Joe, I guess, is going to start us off. Is that right? Tell us about Reboot and what's going on, because you guys stay busy.
Yeah, we stay busy. We already graduated one course here in Bay County, and we're getting ready to graduate another. But what we are is we're a 501c nonprofit that focuses on helping veterans and their families in our local community. It's a faith-based course that just focuses on the trauma of combat, of coming home.
Yeah, because the guys and gals come home, and all of a sudden it's like, what now?
Yeah, and no one knows how to deal with us, so.
And there is, just for your edification and everybody else's, at https://rebootrecovery.com. Tremendous amount of information there.
Yes.
That you want to check that out, and it will be very beneficial to you. And I was surprised to see how big the organization is, and there are even, I think, 4 chapters in Florida, or 4 cities.
There's now 3 in Florida, getting ready to be a 4th. One is coming. And then Jill and I are also starting one up in Walton County, probably starting in January.
And you started one here, correct?
Yes, sir.
So
we're on our second 12-week.
Yeah, because you already graduated one, you said.
We graduated one with eight people, and this one's going to have 20.
20 graduates this time. And you address all those issues with like the 22 a day that's unfortunately taking place. And
we addressed 22 a day. It's not a true number.
Well,
but yeah, we do address suicide and depression. We address forgiveness and hopelessness and
false guilt.
Oh yeah.
You know, so we address quite a bit of it.
Yeah. Survivor's guilt. That's
a big one.
Yep. All the different types of guilt.
Yep. Understood. Oh well, there we go. They're showing some of that now, which is good. Well, good informational piece out there at that website for sure.
The beneficial thing about this is over 2,000 graduates have come through, and there's been 0 suicides.
I remember you telling me that. That is an amazing
Absolutely.
feat and statistic right there.
I mean, we're helping the suicide rate come down and the divorce rate come down, because as they go through this as a family.
Sure.
And so we encourage the family members, the children, the veteran himself, all of it go through it together.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize it, but the whole family's deployed, you know.
Absolutely.
You might have been over in Iraq, but now you got your wife and kids back here, and they're serving as well. And of course, you know, we all say that, but it is the truth.
Well, and they're finding that as we come back with post-traumatic stress, that it's contagious. And she'll have post-traumatic stress from having to deal with me, and my children would have it just because of having to walk on eggshells. So
I didn't realize that.
Secondary.
Yep, I didn't realize that for years. And then finally, through some of my therapy, might as well call it like it is, you know, then I had to really face that reality that my behavior and demeanor and my problems were foisted upon several wives and all my kids. But, you know, unfortunate that, you know, we get too soon old and too late smart, I guess.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times there's that pride element. We don't want to, you know, what me? I don't have a problem. I'm okay.
It's not me, it's them.
Yeah, it ain't me. It's exactly. So yeah, I get it. But anyway, you don't need me to talk about that. But the amazing thing is the 12-week course. Every course is 12 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And now, how stringent is that? Is it a daily?
It's a once-a-week course. We do ask for 12-week commitment,
Yeah,
because
it's
if you
very
miss
important.
something, or if you come in the middle of it It changes the group dynamics, it's pretty easy going. There are areas that get pretty tight. We've had people get up and walk out, but it's contingent on the 12-week commitment.
So, example, if say I was there in the first day or whatever, so I've made the commitment. You have to do that first, commit to the 12 weeks.
Sir.
And if I'm there, how long is that during that daytime? Is it an hour, 4 hour, 8?
Right
do
now, this course is going Tuesday nights. This next one is going to be Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
This one that we're getting ready to graduate is on, it's Thursday
Thursdays.
nights from 6 to 8.
But it
So you're looking at about a
basically
2-hour block.
2 hours.
So 2 hours once a week for 12 weeks.
Right. And
Pretty easy.
you're
If you want to be
fed.
healed, it is.
Yeah.
You're fed free. The course is free, and your child care is free.
Jill, did you say fed free?
You're fed free,
Hey.
and you're fed well.
They say if you provide a free meal, vets are come. So
Well, you had me when I heard fed free. I was like, really?
You are. You are fed free.
we are fed free. Sisters of the Sea Grill and Grog, just to give them a little shameless plug,
Helping
has
vets do it.
they've generously donated every meal that we've had so far. Our graduation on the 30th is going to be at Sisters of the Sea Grill and Grog, and anyone that's watching is welcome to come. Welcome to come.
Good deal.
We're gonna
It starts at 7.
right. It starts at 7. It should be over about 8:30, depending on how much the graduates want to talk.
Well, hopefully they'll
Well,
want
hopefully a lot.
Yeah, hopefully they will want to talk a lot. That's for sure.
Right.
So now, tell us real quick, the Sisters of the Sea and Grog, is that right?
Grill and Grog. Yes,
Grill
sir.
and Grog. So they're down on Thomas, I think you
Yeah.
told me?
Yeah, they're
3901 Thomas Drive.
Veteran supporters.
Yes.
Yes.
Her son
So-
is active duty Marine.
Oh, that's even,
So there was a
okay.
little bit of selfish pleasure in all that, but she
Vets
has
helping
been,
vets.
I tell you what, we've eaten good.
Right. She's gone above and beyond catering to our Reboot courses.
Yes.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So, haven't met you yet, but I plan on coming and having some of that good food.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Look forward to meeting the people at, and I don't want to say it wrong, Sisters
Sisters of the Sea
of the
Grill and
Sea.
Grog.
Grill and Grog.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll
Gotta
know it
keep
by the
me straight.
mermaids.
Got to keep me straight, that's for sure. Something else that impressed me when I looked at the national site was some of the partners. I mean, some
Yes.
big names. And here's the thing that impressed me more than anything, and I don't know what you guys know about it, but Guide Star Foundation, they're the ones that look at all the nonprofits and they give report cards. I mean, you either are or you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And good deal.
Well,
Right.
Good deal.
Jeannie and Evan Owens, who started the program in 2011, she was an occupational therapist by trade. He was a CEO of a company, kind of led down a path of God saying, leave your job, do this.
Uh-huh.
And he was on the Fortune 500 up-and-coming CEOs. So he was doing okay.
Yeah, credentialed individual, I'd say.
And so he left and started running this.
And it
And
started in
started.
their home. It started in their home as just a small group. And Dr. Owens, worked at Fort Campbell, and she saw and heard all of the soldiers coming back. And she's like, well, there's a need. There's a need for something to help these soldiers heal. So her and her husband created Reboot, Combat Recovery.
And now there's 85 locations.
And
one in Australia,
Australia.
and 2 coming to Korea. The one in Australia is for Australian soldiers,
Yep.
but it's still the same program.
That's terrific. That is terrific. And the other thing that really kind of blew me away, and I had to print this out because I didn't want to miss any of them. Let's see if I make sure I got. Do I have them here? Oh yeah, I do. So the military installations that are involved with Reboot Combat Recovery. Camp Lejeune.
Yes.
There's your Marine base. Fort Belvoir.
Yep.
Fort Bragg.
Well,
Fort Campbell. Fort Campbell. Fort Meade. So that's 5 right off the bat.
and we're meeting with some of the local chaplains here at the military bases here to implement this into their system, because we're a no report to the command organization, so it doesn't go against the soldier. It's not a black eye on them.
Yep.
We've got
Right.
active duty in our course
Courses.
right now, and you know, my feeling is, you know, I've helped put people out of the Army for far less than PTS, but I don't want it to get back to the command, oh, we've got a problem child here.
Yeah.
This way it may nip it in the bud before it ever gets started, and they don't have to go from 0 to 0.
I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, it's good when it's not reported to command if it can be avoided.
Right.
Yeah, if it can be avoided. So we're not saying to duck command. I mean, it's heinous,
Oh, no.
Something
Right.
heinous, yeah, it's got to be reported.
Well, and if the command sees it, they can always
Of course.
recommend it,
Sure.
of course, and that way they get their soldier back.
Yep, absolutely. The main thing is the healing and making people
Right.
whole again,
That's
so
right.
they can be productive and perform
Yes.
Right.
their jobs, their duties, whatever the case may be. Whether it's as a soldier or as a husband or a
Right.
worker, you
Right.
got to be productive and be part of the process
Right.
Right.
of growing.
Right. Reboot heals the entire person from moral wounds and spiritual wounds of war, and it heals the family as well. So as one unit, and what that does is when your family's healed, you can go out in the community and be a leader and, you know, a productive person in your community as a whole family. So when the family's healed from spiritual and moral wounds of war, they're more productive leadership in the community. Well, it really heals our whole community.
Sure.
And what it's geared to do is, as I come through the course and I start my healing process, I want to reach back and grab the next person and pull them up to help them.
Yep.
And it creates leaders. It creates leaders.
Sure.
And when we first started here in Bay County, we got the Bob Woodruff grant
Yep.
specifically for Bay
See,
County.
there's another big name. as far
Exactly,
as-
the Bob Woodruff Foundation.
Yeah.
Uh,
Backers
and
and sponsors.
it was a substantial grant to be able to allow us to run 2 courses plus the one that we had already purchased, and so that way we have 3 courses already scheduled into Bay County, and
So we could always use more
Yes.
donations.
Well, sure.
donations.
Yeah, when you're a 501c,
Right.
Yes.
you use the donations, no doubt about that.
Right.
Absolutely.
The more you can get, the more you can do, and that's what it's about, helping.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. The whole community is just amazing, though, for all the support here and all the tremendous efforts that are done for
Right.
the military and the community.
Right.
Whenever we started looking at this organization, there was only one in Florida. There's not any in Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, and Alabama has one, I think.
And Georgia is
Is
getting one.
But so out of all that area, look at all the military installations
Oh yeah.
from here, just from here to
Louisiana.
Fort Polk
Yeah, I
in
would say.
Louisiana. You know, there's an amazing amount of all these soldiers coming back, soldiers, airmen, Marines.
Yep.
You know, they're all coming back, and they're coming back with
Significant issues.
a little
Some
different
of
than they left.
them. Yeah.
And so we just want to we want to get the awareness out that there's programs out there, because as they graduate ours, my goal is to push them into not push them, but suggest
Introduce.
that they go to another organization like David Trogdon's
Hope
project,
The Hope Project,
the Hope,
yeah.
Right.
the Hope Project, and they can spend a little time there to help to encourage their healing. And before they know it, they've spent a year in all these different organizations, getting to know them. The camaraderie's there.
They build a community.
Yeah.
And they just start to heal.
Now, we joked earlier about your name being Rogers, R-O-D-G-E-R, and not a R-O-G-E-R, because the R-O-G-E-Rs are horse thieves. But I have to confess, I might be a R-O-G-E-R, because I fell in love with Hammer up at Trondheim.
Oh, I know.
If I would steal that horse. Don't have anywhere I could keep it, but I'd still steal it if I could get away with it.
Hammer's pretty amazing.
Man, I mean,
I fell in love with Hammer too.
They all are,
Absolutely.
but yeah.
But talking about that and the Reboot Combat Recovery, if we can roll that little 2-minute clip, if Mr. Producer is hearing me, maybe we can roll that real quick, because I think it's something that the public should see.
The hashtag Deploy Hope.
Yep, the hashtag Deploy Hope.
I know of at least 7.
1, 6,
3,
5.
4.
A lot of times you expect all these signs that it's going to happen, and then sometimes you just have no idea. There's no signs.
He inspired us, and he led us very effectively.
He always had a smile on his face and was always cracking jokes to lift the other spirits up.
There's not a explanation for it. There is no understanding there, because when it came to warning signs, there really wasn't any.
Not somebody who you would think that would go through with the act.
Brave, he was courageous, he was like all those things you think about, then he comes home and found him in a hotel room.
It's not just a single generation, my generation. It's as old as war itself, and we don't acknowledge the elephant in the room. It'll just destroy all of us.
22.
22.
22.
22.
22.
Every single day, 22 veterans end their personal battle with PTSD by taking their own life. They are not statistics, they are people. They are friends and family. They fought for us, now it's time for us to fight for them.
The spirit of suicide is attacking our service members, telling them that they are alone in the fight, that there is no other way but to end it. Reboot knows there's another way. It's not going to be easy, but if we work together, we can help address it. That's why Reboot Recovery is asking you to engage in the battle against veteran suicide. Together, we can offer help, hope, and healing.
So join the fight today. Your donation will do more than lower a statistic. It will save a life, maybe one of our friends. Please go to rebootrecovery.com for more information. Thank you.
All right, so that was a good 2 minutes, a lot of information. Something else that I read on the website was the Teach a Man to Fish ideal, but the goal is to get to where the graduates of Reboot Combat Recovery
Step up,
don't
become
need you anymore,
Right.
or they turn into leaders.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know you're successful when they don't need you anymore, and that's pretty good.
78% of all Reboot graduates step up to be leaders.
Wow, that's a significant number as well.
Right.
Well, and when you join the military, I say it like this a lot. You know, you raised your hand, you swore that you were going to serve this country.
Yep.
Well, when we got out, who are we serving? So we serve each other, and it's in our system that we are servants. We're here to serve. So we.
I think they inoculate us with a little
I think-
extra DNA.
I think it's in the shots they give us. Yeah.
You're going through life. But yeah, and you know, brothers, helping brothers and sisters. I mean, it's what we do.
Well, and that's something that the VA is finding is that the peer-to-peer groups and courses are having a lot of success because a veteran's opening up to another veteran.
Well, and you know how it is too, because I could not see you, and we don't see each other that often.
Right.
But the way it is between veterans,
That's
I could
right.
walk up to you and say, "Hey Joe, how you doing?" "Oh yeah, man, I'm doing okay." And if you're not, boom, I
You
can
picked
pick
up
it,
on it.
Right.
pick it right away and go.
That's right.
Exactly.
And we call it the BS flags go off. It's like, all right, now talk to me. Tell me what's really going
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Now tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, and you
can.
either will or you won't. And if you don't, that's your
On you.
fault for not doing it. That's on you.
Right.
I can be responsible to you, but I can't be responsible for
you.
So,
Right.
and if you have a need that's not communicated, not a mind reader.
Right.
Right.
Can't help you if I don't know.
That's not your cross to carry.
But if your ox is in the ditch and you're feeling low and blue or whatever the case may be, and you tell me, all right, let's do it. Let's help each other. That's what I'm here for.
Well, also our military love to serve. Our veterans love to serve. So a lot of times when they get out of the military, they go into other service professions such as first responders.
Yep.
And Reboot has saw a really big need for a reboot type program for our first responders, police departments and firefighters and EMTs. And so Reboot is in the process of creating, it's called firstlinerecovery.com. And it is going to be a reboot program specifically for first responders. Now, right now, first responders are always welcome in a reboot course.
And always will be.
Always. But there is going to be a first line recovery reboot course for first responders.
Right. Because their experiences, although may be similar in some ways,
Right.
unless they've been in the combat situation.
And
they
a
may
lot
be
of them
little
have.
different.
A lot of them
Well,
Oh, yeah, a lot
have
of 'em.
both.
You know, they're on
Absolutely.
edge and stuff.
Sure.
As they walk up to a car, they never know what they're walking up on, or a wreck, or a fire, or whatever. You know, for each.
Yeah, we've got another
each one.
18-year veteran police force that was just shot,
Right.
point blank, and
Right.
in the hospital. I hope and pray he makes it through, and I certainly hope they find the perpetrator
Absolutely.
that committed the crime. But yeah, you never know. None of us know.
Absolutely.
That poor
So
young.
I mean, they're going through it just like we are,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
and
exactly.
they're finding that PTS is pretty much just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
You know,
There's deeper wounds.
There's deeper wounds, and that's the first thing we address in our course is the roots of trauma.
Right.
So and it starts it off right.
I get it. I think I understand a little bit. I'm not going to say I understand it all because that would just be a falsity. But the thing that really struck me, though, was that statistic that you guys said that out of everybody that's come through the courses, zero suicide.
that have graduated the
is-
course. That's
Yeah.
absolutely right.
That is so significant to be able to say that. It's,
If we can cut into that number, my brother was a 22 a day, and if we can cut into that number and bring it down and get it to a true number that's below that and start
To
dwindling
zero.
it down,
yeah.
then
Yeah, I didn't realize that about your brother.
yeah, he committed suicide in 2010.
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
No, well,
Really sorry.
you know, it's what vets do a lot of
Yeah,
times. So
yeah. I've been. to too
I
many
said no
funerals.
more on my watch.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's why Reboot's so important to our heart. And that statistic of zero suicides really tugged at our heartstrings. So we were like, this is something that needs to be
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
all
That
over.
should be shouted from the rooftop.
right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely should. You know what we're going to shout about now? Chow time, baby.
All right.
That's just about our time. So I'm going to say thank you again.
Thank
You're
you.
always welcome. You know that, brother.
Absolutely.
Especially since you're a commo guy.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, there you go. Signal Corps.
signal in the house.
Yep, signals in the house. Jill,
Thank
as
you.
always, you're lovely. Thanks for taking care of that guy,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
that brother. And Joe,
Keeps me in line.
appreciate you and all you're doing. Keep on keeping on.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. We're out till next time. Thanks for watching.